Today, Hollywood seems to be having a moment. They're feeling nostalgic, or at least want other people to feel nostalgic, and it's something that's been very popular in the gaming industry. Uncharted 4's throwback Crash Bandicoot level, Homefront The Resistance's Time Splitter 2 levels, Doom's throwback to its previous games, Modern Warfare Remastered getting more hype than the brand new Call of Duty game. It seems like the gaming industry wants to invoke the past. Many people claim that the sequelization going on in media is hurting the whole industry, but is it really? Is there an actual time where nostalgia can be beneficial? See, the thing is that the answer for both of these questions is both yes and no. It's actually very nuanced. Well, just so that we're on the same page, nostalgia is typically described as the warm feeling you get when looking at old photographs in home movies. But it can be more than that. Nostalgia comes from the Greek word nostos, or return home, and algos, or longing in English. When the word nostalgia was first coined in 1688 by medical student Johannes Hofer, being nostalgic was thought to be a disease. But of course, as we know now, it's not the case. Turns out that nostalgia isn't as bad as you might assume. Actually, studies show that nostalgia counteracts loneliness and anxiety most of the time and causes people to have hope for the future. So there's actually two forms of nostalgia: natural, originating most commonly from photographs and home movies, from bumping into a song that may have some kind of deeper meaning to one of the games you used to play as a child with your friends on the couch. Natural nostalgia typically occurs very suddenly upon coming into contact with the original medium. The second form of nostalgia is unnatural. These are typically media products from corporations that want to sell you back your childhood. That idea of, hey, you liked this as a child, now go watch this movie that doesn't really retain any of the charm of the original. Many people see this kind of nostalgia as exploitive, that it doesn't really add anything to the medium. That glut of reiterating on the same properties are going to stagnate the whole genre. But is that really the case? Is there some benefit to the rampant rebooting and sequelization? The thing is that reboots and sequels are not created equal. When some movies are just unnecessary appropriations of nostalgic properties, some movies can take on new context in the times in which they are presented. The Amazing Spider-Man doesn't really do to post-financial crisis America what Sam Raimi's Spider-Man did in post-9/11 America. Ideas presented in the original film can be recontextualized. But in gaming, where sequelization seems to be the only way to make money, what does this mean? Sometimes there are games where their sequels rise above the originals upon which they are based upon, but other times quickly become the same game slopped out every single year. The recontextualizing is not something that we typically see in video games. Most reboots tend to just bring back the old game with more modern mechanics if you're lucky. But some, like the Tomb Raider reboot, shows how different modern audiences see certain types of people. Nostalgic properties that take a leave of absence as the industry looks towards more profitable genres tend to come back big and remind us what made the original so great: simplicity. Which is why I believe why people are hating on the new Call of Duty game versus the game that they've already played. Why developers are putting nods towards their original franchises. Why we are seeing the resurgence of roguelikes. Why the new Doom and Wolfenstein games exist is because there is nostalgia for simplicity. A time where progression systems were non-existent, where an upgrade was not just an arbitrary stat increase, where upgrades were an item that changed the way you played a game. In a time where big budget action video games are flooding the market, it's the look towards the past that reminds us where games used to be and puts where we are today in a new light. Times where couch co-op was king, because it's really those moments of playing games on Christmas with the family that we are truly nostalgic for. And these games are portal to the times where everyone seemed to be getting along. A truly formative time in life. Nostalgia sells. Maybe even more so than sex. And sometimes that could be a good thing, but other times it could stagnate the whole industry. But at the end of the day, what really matters are the memories that are with these games, movies, or songs, and that we hold them close for those connections that we've lost along the way. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a sponge.